YCS Australia has come to a close, and of course, what better time to be here, well, on a Sunday morning as we explore the craziness that actually was the event. A lot of interesting things to talk about, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am very excited to be covering this YCS. So, without further ado, got to give a special shout out to the YCS coverage team for getting us all of this information in a fine, fantastic manner. And I will have the first and second place stock profiles up for you guys later this afternoon. So let's dig on into this discussion, shall we? If you are a huge fan of Rogue and you love things, YCS Australia would have been your event. So, the top 64 breakdown was a little bit crazy to me. And of course, this was an 800-man event. I don't remember what the exact numbers were, but it wasn't generally huge, per se. It wasn't in, the four digits, but interesting. So, the most represented deck, of course, was Skyshaker. This really shouldn't surprise many of you guys. I kind of think that, unfortunately, with the way that the metagame has been going progressively, it shouldn't be any real shocker that this deck had the highest representation. And then there were 16 Thunder Dragons. This number kind of shocks me. Thunder Dragon representation went up through the fucking roof for this event. And then there were 3 lonely Burning Abyss players. UBA players, you keep on doing you guys. We had 3 Pendulums. They don't specifically iterate what they are. We had 3 Trickstars, 2 Praying Kids, 2 Lightsworns, 2 Zombies, and Invoked, Gem Knights, Zephyra, Dynamist, Danger, and Rongo. Hey, you guys remember earlier in the week when I made a video being like, hey, I lost a Dynamist of all things? And then we kind of started to see, oh shit, maybe Dynamist aren't such a bad deck. And we've kind of progressively started to go, there was a Dynamist deck in top 64. That says something about the deck. Now that means that the deck did probably miss the top 32 cut, which does kind of suck because it would have been kind of cool to get the chance to see, Dynamist do something. But that trap card, Howling, getting the ability to disrupt whatever that your opponent wants to kind of load off on you, it's kind of mind-boggling to me that we kind of get to see the crazy power of such a card. Now, the other thing that kind of stuck out to me here was, well, I did call there being that one Gem Knight player. I don't know what it is, but every event that we see across the pond or anywhere else in any territory, there's always that one Gem Knight player. Now, I've talked about 1,000 times over that, it takes a real genius to learn all these combos. So many people take this deck for granted because people just don't want to take the time to learn to play Gem Knights. And that's not without saying much, but I do want to give a shout out to the people that do take their time to learn these combos. You guys are the real MVPs. You guys are the real duelists out there that take time and learn these crazy things. And it goes to show that no matter what really happens out there, that it's not that it's impossible. It's just, why learn that when I can learn something easier? I also got to give another shout out to Lightsworn here. I've already read the comments like, oh my god, 2 Lightsworn players did well. Gotta ban Lumina now. First off, it's ban Fairy Tale Snow. God, get it right, guys. And number 2, we've seen Lightsworn kind of do stuff. It's not that it's done a lot of great things, but at the end of the day, the whole Lightsworn toolbox, even with the grass ban, it can still tutor for some really cool cards and combos. So I'm not going to dug on that too hard. I think that the deck's overall potential is really great, and to see it as a rogue slot in top 64 out of 800 people, yeah, it doesn't really shock me. The deck's got some really spicy stuff. Whether or not you just want to be an extra deck link, or lock your opponent out of their extra deck Lightsworn, or if you're just the turbo, whatever Lightsworn variant it is with JDs. I don't even think most of them play JD anymore, but I've seen it. It doesn't mean that it's good. And the last one is, we got love for zombies. Who out there? Hello? Those zombie players? Is that you? Oh yeah, that's the sound of there being nobody to respond to me, because I thought zombies were dead. No pun intended. And it's kind of crazy to me that two Two did well. That's amazing. I don't know if they're the standard climb up ladders, if they're abusing Zombie World. We don't know any details really about them at this point. But zombie players, congratulations. You guys got your foot in the door. And I'm excited for this. Like I said, like if you're a rogue player and you're happy with these results, like that's crazy good. You can't really complain about progress in terms of the rogue departments. Yes, go zombies. You guys did good. I don't want to see the deck coming up in my metagame, but I'm happy to see that. So that's kind of where I am with the rogue. I guess I also got to give a shout out to the Zephyra player. I don't know how you do it. I loved that deck when I first started seeing it, and then we kind of saw Master Rule 4 kind of ruin things a little bit, and then Zephyra just kind of started taking a back seat progressively as the metagame would just beat it down. But somebody took the challenge. One lone Zephyra player out there said, you know what? I'm going to go against all of the odds, and we're going to try to take this event. And I also salute you. Much like zombies and much like the other lower tier decks, seeing these decks do relatively well is a very good sign of progress being made. And you know, I actually kind of wish that we would have seen Zephyra do a little bit more, but no, I can't dog on it excitingly too hard, because at the end of the day, the deck still kind of suffers from the same real issues that it actually has had throughout time. Now, as the YCS started going on, we progressed into top 16. We had 6 Thunder Dragons, which, are any of us really shocked about that? Like, 4 Altergeist, which I guess Altergeist representation was high. 2 Sky Strikers. We lost 15 Sky Striker players between top 64 and top 16. What the fuck happened to them? I think people have just kind of figured out the algorithm at this point for to beat Sky Striker. Like, the deck is extremely good at what it does. The deck is really good at building resources and capitalizing on it. But at the end of the day, it falls short to the other 95% of the metagame. Thunder Dragons and Altergeist are just kind of inherently better at what those decks want to do. So that's literally 12. And then we have 4 rogue decks, actually. We had Burning Abyss doing relatively well into this round. I think it's kind of cool once again to see that deck, but I've talked about it. The deck is just kind of a go second. OTK your opponent with Sekka's Light, draw a bunch of cards to the deck, use hand traps to disrupt your opponent. And if you continuously go through your good matchups in that day, you should have no real problem conquering the metagame, right? That's kind of how that deck works. We had 1 Pendulum. Okay, Pendulum Magician's doing relatively well. We're starting to see that climbing up through the top tables. That's great. We had 1 Prank Kids. I didn't necessarily dodge talking about Prank Kids, but this deck also has another high ceiling to learn a lot of the combos. And I mean, the deck is very good in the hands of the one player. Like, we saw it with the last European YCS. The deck went through, demolished people, and the deck does better in a Sky Striker metagame, but when things kind of start to phase out, we start going more towards Altergeist, more towards Thunder Dragon, the deck kind of falls to the wayside. And then there was 1 Rongo Remediad Turbo. Yep. Now, as we progressed into top 8, we had the 2 Sky Striker players. They made it. Yeehaw! Yay, Sky Strikers. 1 Burning Abyss squeaked on in as well, which is actually pretty cool. I'm actually kind of glad that we got to see BA make it all the way into top 8. And then there were 3 Altergeist and 2 Thunder Dragons. And seeing that Altergeist and Thunder Dragons were kind of running this show for the longest time, it doesn't really surprise me. Now, we start progressing into top 4. We got 2 Altergeist, 2 Thunder Dragons facing down. And then the finals, of course, were Jesse Cotton versus Onar Gazer playing Altergeist. And Jesse went 14-0 just to lose in the finals. He was playing a Thunder Dragon Danger variant. And it's actually very cool. I've seen the deck already, and I'm just like, this is some pretty innovative stuff. And then the Altergeist build was a little bit more stable, I guess, for what you would kind of expect. But see, basically, I mentioned this before. Once Altergeist kind of gets into that firefight with Thunder Dragons, the continuous Siliguidos bounces just kind of burn Thunder Dragons out of their resources. There's only so much Thunder Dragons can do against infinite bounces. And I mean, that says something because, like, they can produce relatively large walls. But still, Guidos is a hell of a card for Thunder Dragons to deal with. So, congratulations, Altergeist. You got your win. Maybe we'll finally see Multi-Faker get limited. I mean, Savage Strike's right on the horizon. It definitely goes to show that there's room for development in this game, especially in this current format with Sky Strikers just getting blown out, like going into top 4. Like, it's amazing. So what do you guys think? Please, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about YCS Sydney. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. And well, guys, Big Papa Bear Robbie is out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.